Alright. Welcome to the NES block. We've got 5 games for you here over the next couple hours. The first one is The Guardian Legend. I'm playing the Japanese version called Gartic Gaiden 2. There's no difference in the gameplay between the two. I practice on this one. And this game is known for its amazing soundtrack and its Nintendo hard difficulty. Most speedruns have a couple of stages before you run into a true block. We should get this started because we're going to run into a true block right at the start of this game. So let's get going here. Welcome everyone. It's the Guardian Legend. Start out in this form. We'll get into a labyrinth later, provided I don't get crushed by the defense mechanism here. I am watching my score here because we're good. There's a part of the first level I call the Valley. It's coming up after this mess. And I want to have about this many points. 6,600 is usually safe, but get hit by these crazy meteors, so... And the reason for the score goal is for the boss, so that we have a drop setup for it. I found that really being in this range with any combination of kills before it gets us close without taking us over. Okay, Corridor 0. This boss is not easy, but let's give it a rock. We're in great shape. Alright. So that boss is hard for MASH reasons, and for me being old, that's a little more difficult. So we're gonna pick up the handy-dandy safety rapid fire to save my elbow and my hand for the run here. So now we're into the labyrinth part, and we meet Miria's actual form here. And we'll pick up this amazing saber. This saber is OP. And we're gonna skip this guy. The 100% category. And thanks everyone for all the good luck. The 100% category, we don't actually do 100% of everything. And we're gonna do a skip here. It's the only thing we can skip, which is the coolest thing in the game. Which is Miria changing between ship and human form. While we're in Sleepy Corridor 1, I have counted the fish here numerous times. With the 100% category, we only need to fill up the menu items. We need to get level 3 of all weapons. We need to get maximum weapons, armor, defense. We need to defeat all 23 corridors, is it? My brain just froze for whatever reason. And of course, we need to finish the game. So... Oh, we need to pick up all red and blue landers, the happy fellows that kind of became the icon of this game. With their impossible smile. I am playing 100% all fish. I'm gonna try and kill all of these fish no matter what. Gotta do something to be entertained in this corridor because it's basically 3.5 minutes long. And there's no way to speed it up. There's a lot of auto-scrollers in this game. And Corridor 1, especially after Corridor 0, it kind of lulls you into a false sense of security. This game gets extremely difficult very fast. But not here. Like, I've actually fallen asleep doing Corridor 1 live on stream. People who are regulars in my channel may have remembered that on at least one occasion. Just get hypnotized. Especially when you've done, like, multiple runs of this in a day, and you get used to the endgame difficulty. When you get here, you just fall asleep. Right. All of our weapons cost chips to use, but the saber and the cutter are different to where they're on a timer, so you can actually tap like this and get a lot of kills off before you actually use any chips. Got them all. Alright, now we have the Corridor 1 boss. The unfortunate Blue Fleepa. We just gotta make sure he doesn't eat us. Alright, we got the moon key. And we got a weapon we'll never use. Let's go. Oh, watch out for those. These rocks hurt, especially the blue and green ones. Don't really want to get hit by them if you can avoid it. So grab this item. We'll come over here to our first actual mini-boss. I call him Bro Crab because we want him to be a bro and spawn right around here. And he did. What a bro. And that allowed us to skip the fanfare, save 3 seconds. Thank you, Bro Crab. And in that rapid sequence there, we picked up 2 other extremely overpowered weapons. The cutters, which are the sideways lasers, my favorite weapon personally. And the fireball, which is the kind of community favorite overall. And I can't say I blame them, the fireball is awesome. Speaking of the fireball, we're going to use it in this level. We try not to menu too much. It would be easier to go through this level with sabers or cutters. But if you can mash well, like I have the rapid fire for this, you can get through this pretty well with the gun. I have been struggling with my mashing recently. So, we went pure safe. Because after all, this is a show, not a competition, right? We don't want to get all panicked, because this game can hurt you. Like, just a minor example of the time damage you can take if I die to the boss at this level. We start all the way back where we came in, and we have to go all the way back to this dungeon, and then all the way back through this dungeon to try the boss again. So the penalties for failure are pretty high. That doesn't mean we can't have no fun. I should save what remains of my chips for the boss. Another reason I have rapid fire for this, because I'm on a set drop pace for a little while. to set up a drop for something coming up in about 10 minutes, and then after that I kind of forget about it. It's not really necessary in 100%. This is the fight we have to be careful in, because we don't want to get hit by this thing's tentacles ever. So I'm going to play this super safe, because I lost that pattern quick, and we'll just get this guy down without him causing us any major problems. Yes, I wimped out. But that's okay. We didn't die. Alright. At the end of Area 1, we have a lander, but we have to go through a Blue Walker Bro to get to it. See where this guy spawns for us. See, if you hit the fanfare, you gotta wait for it to play before you can go. Alright, we'll take our first death abuse of the game to get us back here. We do use death warps, it's legal. This run would be about probably 2 hours if we couldn't death warp, I'm not gonna lie. So whenever you visit these rooms, if you die for whatever reason, you'll reappear there. You can also get passwords out of those rooms, but for obvious time reasons, we don't want to do that. And I am taking another safe strat here. Normally I'll use fireballs here because it's objectively faster to kill the boss with fireball, but it is objectively safer to do it with saber. So it's only a 2-second time loss. It doesn't really kill us, you know. There's our little break, and now we dodge the salvo basically. And for an NES game, you'll find that the Guardian Legend, under these flight circumstances, and pretty much in general, handles a lot of sprites on the screen fantastically well. There's almost no slowdown when there are like 40 or 50 little sprites on the screen coming to kill you, and it gets very difficult. But if you're planning to play this game or speedrun it in any capacity, my first piece of advice is pretty much universally the same. Always get those boxes. If you keep getting your power-ups from your drops, you'll have a lot of success. Alright, Corridor 12, this is the first Area 2 corridor, and we're gonna meet Red Fleepa. Blue Fleepa's angry red guy. And the strategy with Saber is the same. Just track his eye. And that's Corridor 12. And I'm hoping I have my drops set up correctly. And we'll know pretty quick. But before that, we have to fight the Legend Crab. And I call him this because, oh, that's the wrong weapon. If he spawns right where I'm standing, you can maybe get a music skip off of it. And that's just the Legend skip. I've gotten it like 3 times in my life. Alright. Do I got my drops right? Ouch. It's good from here. Alright. Oh, wait. Almost forgot about the actual rapid fire that sets us free. Now we needed that chip drop so we could buy this. That saves us like going into Corridor 6, or Area 6 in general, later on. But it does also mean that I enter Corridor 2 with no ammunition, basically. I still have these, but they're not super helpful. Every major corridor has a puzzle. Corridor 1's was shoot the door. This one was touch everywhere, which made all those explosions. We're in a bad part of my drop table. I'm waiting for a chip drop. That's really what I'm after here. We also have 2 rapid fires and we now have attack 2. There we go. So our forward gun is gonna do some work for us here. And that first rapid fire I got all the way back at the start. The reason I call it just a pure loss is on this route we have to walk directly over it much later in the run. I'll call it out, but if you're not feeling the mashing part of this game, I recommend picking it up. I mean, for an 8-second time loss, it'll save your hands and your elbows. Because the rapid fires in this game, probably one of the most OP buffs. Like, I've gotten 2, and you see what just holding down the button does for me now. Ocean Storm, the end of Corridor 2, where they basically send whatever's left in the water at me. And we're gonna meet the true boss of the water areas here. But he has a mortal weakness. Sit on his back with the saber. Just follow him. Sit on his head, basically. Sit on his head with the saber. It's amazing that that works, but it works. Now, if you want a more challenging fight, you can kill him with a fireball 2 seconds faster, but it's a lot more dangerous. And the reason that works is, when you're sitting on him like that, the saber is in constant contact with his hitboxes, and he basically can't hurt you because you're erasing his hitboxes. Hello, Death Tornado. We'll be right back to see him. I'm gonna use a Sin Stream strategy on this guy. Sin Stream taught me that one, and I will never not use it, because that's just awesome. Alright, Death Tornado. Now we get into the real make or break section of this run. And I'll just call it out immediately, in that I am going to do this the not hard way today. And I will explain it for you. Basically, Area 3 has both of its dungeons in the same place. Ah, don't hit me. If we turn left here, we can get to both of them. So the, the Courage route is to go in there with Shield 1, which we currently have, or we can come over here and fight the Green Death Pinwheel and pick up defense first, which is what I'm doing. Oh, that's a bad place for you. Catch the fanfare. And the reason why it's a net time loss to do this first is because now we have to walk back. If we do the corridors first and then get these after, you save actually about 20 seconds. but I wimped out, so we're gonna do this the easy way. We got the defense first. And now we're in a whole new place. We're in the forest areas. A little bit better music. But now the game is also gonna really start to try to kill me a little bit. You see this meteor storm that just started? It will not stop until the end of the level. So you can't just sit still, because those meteors actually kind of vector track you in a way. They're not random in the sense that you think they are. Like, they are actually coming down in patterns to hit you. And if you sit still long enough, you'll notice it, like, yeah, right there, like, it's honing in on you if you're sitting still. It's actually pretty creative. But this entire planet is trying to kill you. We can't forget that. Like, as soon as we came up to this place, it started shooting at us. And even the plants are trying to kill us, so... And the main story behind Naju, which is this planet, is that it was inhabited by an unknown species that left the messages and the stuff here. And apparently the landers. But they were defeated by these things and they lost their planet. And they basically just warped it into this. But one of the big reasons for the safety, the shield, is this boss right here. Because this boss is dangerous. Like, with Shield 1, this boss is sketchy. I'm not getting involved in that. I've seen that trap before. He was trying to kill me. I'd rather lose time. Alright. Bombarder did not cooperate, but in Bombarder's defense, he never does. I'm pretty confident I would have died if I would have tried to go for it instead of dodging away. So that was kind of a rough Bombarder fight. Oh yeah. Cheers, Corridor 3. Wait forever is the hint. So I've come to the phrase that Corridor 3 makes me drink. Because this is the true run breaker here. You have to wait 20 seconds and the door will open. And there is a pattern to these corridors. Basically, if the corridor is like a 13 or a 12, the actual corridor itself is going to be more difficult than the boss. But if it's a low number, 3, 4, 5, the corridor is going to be easier than the boss in most cases. The only real exceptions are like the 8s, because the Grimgrins are just hard, period. And the 10s, because it's so hard there that it's kind of negligible. You see the game picking up its intensity, there's more projectiles. That should be a theme of this particular game, more projectiles. But I do have Shield 3, so if I fail Blue Optim on the Shield 3, I'll be relatively embarrassed. The strat I use for this boss I usually do it with Shield 2. But it's always a gamble. But Shield 3 is basically free for me, or it should be. Of course I say that, right? Alright. Time for the probably most insane strat I used in the entire run. We're gonna get right up on this guy. And this is very dangerous. I had 6 health left. I could have done that with Shield 2. Huh. Alright, we got the smelly key, and we have a run. That is actually the point where I will say we have a run. If we didn't get the defense first, we'd go down and do that now. But since we did, we have to die here, which is actually another time loss in this strat, because it's kind of hard to die in this room. Alright. We get to walk all the way across the map, and here I'll show you the map real quick. The map will unlock around the center, and now we gotta walk all the way to the other corner up there. So, put myself on what I call a pickup pixel here, so I can just walk straight up and get this. I just really don't want to take too much damage on the walk. Alright, into Area 4. It's actually a couple of landers to pick up here. Ouch. Ouch. Don't get hit by the green toxic orbs. Those rocks are gnarly. Corridor 14. And I am going to use cutters over sabers on this boss, because I kind of want to show off the glitch on the clawbots here. It is faster to kill this first clawbot with saber, but it is extremely dangerous. Because right now we have saber 2, and we only have cutter 1. But the 4s are pretty fun. Get a couple of peeks into some mechanics coming up, and how this game will combine enemies. Those things die so much faster when you have saber out here. Now normally you gotta fight this guy from the front, but when you get cutters, come up here and put him in his side, follow him to the wall, and voila! Good game. literally cannot hurt you. Isn't cheese wonderful? It belongs on more than pizza. There's a blue lander with that legendary happy face. Okay, we can't spend chips, but I can take damage because the 100% category does actually require a glitch. Which is to hold the start button when you pick up an item, and you see the shop options didn't disappear, so we can also get that. And the trick for opening Corridor 4 is to go in and out of this shop a couple of times. It's ask the blue fellows for help. And on the 4th time he'll say, I see you're having difficulty. Let me open this for you. Hey, thanks, buddy. So we start Corridor 4 with no ammunition again, but it should be rectified pretty quickly. Yeah. I'm using a saber for this level because we're... The general reason for why I'm using a specific weapon that seems less effective than something else in a level, like right now, is that I'm going to use that weapon on the boss. And we don't want to menu, because menuing is one of the ways to create time losses in the speedrun, because most of these corridors are lag reduction. If you know what I mean? And how well you fight the boss. Oh. Huh. Terra meets teeth. Now this is one of the coolest sprites in the game. It's just too bad that it's kind of a really easy boss fight. Another one of these, let's sit on his head. Just bang on him for a while. Now we just kill him the regular way. Oh, he survived. Alrighty then. So we got the square key. We have a couple of chores we need to take care of here real quick. Well, actually just one, which is this blue pinwheel of death, who is protecting attack 3. And hopefully... not bad. Okay. What do you say we go to Area 5? We will fight this boss on the way back. We'll have better tools then. Area 5.1. Let's bust out our cutters here. We're gonna need them for one of my favorite bosses, actually. I call this the spin to win boss, because this strategy is hilarious. Hi. Spin to win, right? Now the reason I'm pausing before these transitions is because I pause to hold the select button. It's faster to double pause and hold select down than it is to open the select button menu and hold it down from there. Yeah. I'm in chip trouble a little bit here. Not a huge deal, I just need to stop being. Yeah, right. You know how much damage you can do with all the discs that are left over? You can melt them all into a giant ball and drop it through space. They're pretty much done. This is Xanth, how's it going? So Corridor 5 is the Crystal Corridors. I love the music here. And this is where the game is going to show you, like, the rest of its bag of tricks. And then from there, it just starts combining them in really terrifying ways. But really, Corridor 5 isn't too hard because we have a lot of power at this point. And as I said earlier, as long as you pick up your power-ups and your drops, you will have a lot of success. Especially at this point in the run. This is where we're rewarded for getting through the early game, because now Miria is getting strong. We got Attack 3, double rapid fire, stage 2 cutters and sabers. Like, we can do some work. So here we have the Carrot Clawbot, as he's known, because his claws will turn orange. And he looks like a carrot. But he suffers from the same problem all Clawbots have, which is this strat. Alright. So far, so good. So we get a red lander. Doubles our chip max to 800. It's a really nice pickup there. And over here we have a blue lander, which increases our health, which is also a nice pickup. Here's a fun trivia question for me. Like, I know I have to pick up this item. I don't know what this item is anymore because I never get to see it. I just know that I have to get it. I'm gonna have to look at the map to see what that is. Alright, this thing is a plague. Until we figured out the glitch for this guy, this thing is just not fun. The Crystal Star is a legitimate mini-boss, but what we do is we move him into the wall like this, and he gets stuck, and we just keep our cutters on. I know, cheese, but it works. And at least once we're gonna watch that happen, where Miria changes over. Because that's the coolest part of the game. It's the only thing we ever get to skip, which is kind of funny. Corridor 5 means business a little bit. The fives, the Corridor 5s and 15, they're kind of easier because every enemy you kill here is worth a lot on the drop table. You're probably noticing a lot more drops than normal. And that's really just an Area 5, 15 effect. And drops will become slightly more frequent as the game goes on, but it's really apparent here, because pretty much everything that spawns here is pretty high on the drop table as far as points that go into that. Alright, we got Zibzub. got him going a little sideways there. You don't want that. Right, and that's halfway. And we haven't even scratched the surface yet. So this is kind of where the difficulty begins to really spike. 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 10. It's... Now the game's gonna really want me to die. And that's okay. I'm used to that. So we picked up a grenade there, we needed it. And now we're gonna fight that little mini boss that we skipped over. Oh, I missed the pickup. That's disappointing. Got a blue lantern. Alright, this is one of the few corridors where I will actually change weapons to fight the boss, because doing Corridor 6 without cutters just doesn't work for me. What you just heard was a score level up. Those also exist. There's one left on the score table from here. It'll be at 1,000,000. We'll probably see that shortly before it, actually. Who is our end boss of this round? But this is why I don't like doing Corridor 6 without cutters. It is easily the best weapon for this place, and you can farm with them here. That's actually a vital strategy in any percent, or at least for the route that I run. We do a lot of score farming here to set up a score for the end game. It's very dangerous too. You see what happened there and how little slowdown there was in the game with all of that coming at me? This game handles that really well. One of the best on the NES, in my opinion, as far as the sprite limit. Just being able to slam on you. Alright, we're gonna switch back to the saber here. Here we have Glider. He is invincible until he stops and like flaps his little gliders. We are taking the safe strat. Right. This weapon we'll never use. And we leave. My route for this avoids all of Area 6 because you actually can. Except for one tiny part which we're about to enter here for like 2 seconds. Shot Blitz for this, and a grenade. Save that thing for later, it's a full health refill. Probably need it coming out of here, not gonna lie. Here's Corridor 16, but we're going to skip over this for now, because the boss of Corridor 16 is really unfriendly. I just remembered I usually do this on the way back, but... You gotta wait for the fanfare, just ceiling walk. You can only do that when the walls are on top. But if you go too far and you hit the barrier, like, you will, get stuck. Here we have Corridor 17, and here we get into the organic corridors. It might be a little gross in here. Excuse me. Those things die by touching your hull. Those are shot eaters, though. They will absorb any other weapon that you hit them with. And our defense is a little low for being in here at this point, but we just suck. But we should be okay. We get through here, and there's a bunch of defense on the other side of the door, so... And the next red lander we get will give us the... Oh, I missed the EE. Yeah, this is problematic. Oh, I didn't think I was going to make that. I'm still not. This is bad. Come on. Oh, shit. Oh, you're kidding me. I knew I was in trouble. That's okay. We only have to go back to right here. The joys of low defense. Ooh. Major mistake number 1. That doesn't change my feelings at all. Like I said, this game is NES hard. Doesn't matter how much you play it, it will get you from time to time. It's a very difficult speedrun. Usually I close with this one because it is harder, but this year we had kind of a special request for Rescue Rangers that I couldn't help but honor. God, those things are tearing me apart. Much better off this time. If you're gonna die in a corridor in this game, this is the one to do. Because I only lost 2 minutes. Like, usually it's higher than that. Grab this. Now let's go pick up some defense, because I don't feel like dying again. At least... I don't feel like dying on accident again. I die a lot on purpose. So here we have another red crab. This one gives us a defense 5, which is going to be really helpful. Defense 5 is really helpful because you probably just noticed the giant burst in movement speed we just got for it. Gotta buy this. And we also get defense 6 right there, so we should be okay now. Puzzle for Corridor 7 is to go in and out of this door a couple of times. Alright. And now we're going to get into Corridor 7, we're going to immediately hide in the corner. Because laser death ships are not to be played around with, and this is a rough part of the game. And no shame in hiding. They hit harder than any non-boss creature in the game by a lot, actually. Those lasers really hurt. Alright, they're done having their tantrum. We can get back to actually being involved in the game again. Yeah, you hear that sound when I hit the shot eaters with the cutters. Normally, you'd like to get your health as low as possible on this boss fight. I've already died once doing dumb things. I'm gonna not do that. We're just gonna deal with however long the death abuse is. So we picked up Saber 3 and Cutter 3. The big buff there is that now our level 3 beams can break projectiles that they couldn't break before. And that's why we do 7 and 17 before we do Corridor 16 up here. These tools are nice to have for this specific boss. Red Optomon coming our way, but Corridor 16's a little hokey. Has a couple of odd pauses. Close. Like I said, it has a couple of odd pauses. Here's Big Red. Nice. Right. So now we're getting into the end game here. Remember I said before that we were going to walk directly over that spot that I picked up the first rapid fire from? This is that part. So here's that room. We make a save point there, and we come straight back up to get into these shops. So we have to buy all of these. Switch our weapon to no use because that is the key for Corridor 8 coming up here. Use no use. I don't have enough EEs to do this the safe way, so we'll just do it the hard way. I ain't scared, I have cutters. Being able to destroy projectiles is so helpful. Makes you so much safer. They're really letting me have it, huh? So here's one of the hardest bosses in the game, the Red Grimgrin. And in this fight, it is extremely important to pick up your drops. Because this is a marathon. And he is the Great Wall of any percent as well, him and the end boss on this one. Right. Got the triangle key. Got myself stuck. Coming up, we have Sir Red Death Pinwheel, and we call him Sir because he is generally a run breaker. But I developed a strat a while ago that made this a lot easier. We call it the pole dance. Because, yeah, that works out so much better. Because if you let him run wild, he runs wild. Don't get stuck on walls. So you may have noticed that my gun spread is now really super big. That's from having over 2,000 max chips. That is a blessing and a curse, because this gun can't hit stuff right in front of you anymore. Case in point. Corridor 18 is pretty much the same, except the boss here is half as tough, which is pretty nice. get hit by the laser death ships. Right. It's basically the same volume as last time, just half as long. Important to keep the beam over that opening, or it will really lag the game out because of his spawn rate. You see there? Nice. So through the 8s. We got Fireball there. Got a laser there, and we come to this room to die because these little death flowers make quick work of you. Alright, it's getting exciting now. Heading towards the 9s. We only have 5 more corridors left to beat. Whoop. Yeah, see, you can't hit stuff right in front of you. Buy this. Buy that. Now there's only one more shop purchase, I believe. Area 9. This place can be pretty rough. These ballrooms are... yeah, they hurt. We're gonna come over here, we're gonna grab this blue lantern. And we're gonna get into Corridor 19. So the 9s and the 10s are the desert corridors. We're going to see a lot of skulls and death, and at this point the game is not holding back on me anymore. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. There's our 1,000,000 point level up. Important to get your drops. It will keep you alive in the end game. Because you will get pounded on, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to be really good to not get banged up. Gotta get those drops, man. Alright, we got the red bombarder. His buddy Bombarder didn't cooperate. We'll see if this one does. Should be a 5 cycle, maybe a 6. Yeah, I'm missing all the bottoms. That's fine. Quarter 19 done. And here we get our 7th and final defense point. Here we get our final red lander. Alright, quarter 9. Gonna run into our first Igor here. Because of the way boss health works, those red diamonds actually have more HP than any boss in the game, because the damage done to bosses is capped. So they all have very balanced health per weapon, but uncapped, my weapons are dealing like phenomenally high amounts of damage. So those red triangles, or anything that survives longer than like a second in my cutters, probably has higher health than any boss in the game that isn't the end boss. Not playing with this part. I will always recommend that a person uses EEs for this particular part of Stage 9. Please. Alright. Now we've got Blue Igor. We're gonna clean his ears. Clean his ears until he goes away. Now we have the USB key. Now we can finally go to Corridor 10 for Area 10. But we do have one last thing to do. We gotta fight this guy. Oh, don't let his spiders run around. Alright. I believe that's our last blue lander. We're about to head to the end game. Let's go. By Fireball 3. We're going to Corridor 20. And this place has a really good reward. Remember all the way back in Area 4 when we got Attack 3? about to get attack 4, which is the last attack level. And here you see them combining every high damage tool it has in the game to basically put me in a dumpster and leave me there. Now, the reason I run 100% in marathons is actually quite simple. You see the struggles I'm having going through this without taking damage. Imagine doing this with half as much defense and half as much health. That's why I don't run this with any percent, because almost all of my runs in any percent end in death. It's just the way it is. So here we're gonna cutter glitch the club up. Yeah, any percent is rough. Nice. Alright. So we have Corridor 10, and when we fly into Corridor 21, I am going to let that play out so you can see the coolest thing in the game. We're also going to skip this incredibly hard mini-boss here. The Death Head is also pretty brutal. So this is the longest walk in the game. We are heading towards Corridor 10. We are actually going to use a couple of wall glitches for the first time in the run. Like that. Oh, wrong place. My bad. Ouch, that was really painful. So I'll grab this. This is the one we want to walk this way on. Just casually walking through walls, right? Oh. Alright, the puzzle for Corridor 10 is shoot everywhere. Oops. So we got attack 4 from that last dungeon, and now our forward guns are really mighty. Without attack 4, it takes 2 forward shots to kill those meteors, and it's rough. We're also going to get into a part called the Gauntlet here very shortly, which is where almost every any percent run ends. And you'll see why. Oh, here we are. Welcome to the Gauntlet. Remember how I said collecting your drops is hugely important? It's very difficult in the Gauntlet because of the background speed. If you make it through this part on any percent, you cleared one of the 3 big hurdles. Just getting through there. lot easier on 100%. Because we are pretty OP right now. Alright, here's the red Igor, and this one, we clean his teeth. Dunked. This is bad. How many E's do I have enough? I missed it, no way! This is a bug. Where I'm repeatedly killing the same things over and over again to force drops on the screen. I was hoping I wouldn't have to use that right away, but we got in bad trouble on that crossover. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that before. If I do that, there is a megahertz flash warning. I apologize for not mentioning that before, I didn't even think about it. Especially in the end, like, when the entire background is black, that can be rough on the eyes, and I'll try to call it out before I do it. My bad on that. Alright. So we've broken all the seals. And now this tiny little innocuous room down here has become our endpoint. And we're gonna watch her change into a ship this time, because it's cool. It's like the coolest part of the whole game. You never get to see it. Almost done. We're almost done. Oh, poor Blue Fleeper. She's no match for us now. Here's a neat trick I learned with Saber 3. Saber 3 breaks that giant beam he shoots. So you sit in front of him like this. Switch over to cutters here because we've got the red Optomon about to appear. This is the boss rush section. And the final one of the boss rush, another red Bombarder. And if you do this fight absolutely perfect, you can kill him in 4 cycles. bye-bye Naju. Flash warning. I forgot about this one too. Alright, so we have destroyed the planet, and all that's left is the main infection, so to say. You left your wallet there? Oh man, I'm sorry. Oh, well, boss rush is done. And now we have it. And if I will call it out if I need to go into a glitch to where I flash the screen. So, but with this black background, the flashing screen here is actually kind of rough even for me, and I don't have any problems with it normally. But it's just like a high frequency, so it goes black to white so fast. This is the end boss. He has an exceptionally high health pool. And really our main objective here is to just not get hit by the bubbles. The missiles do one bar of damage, or 1 heart. The bubbles will do 3. That's why I'm keeping my cutters up near the top of his forehead here, because it should defeat most of the bubbles as they spawn. Oh, he switched to orange. He's a little mad now. He's red. He's very mad now. Oh, we're in bad shape. Flash warning. Sorry about that. And back to business. Alright, he's dead. And time. Guardian Legend 100%. We get one of the best victory songs on the NES. And you actually get to see what Mario really looks like. Thanks to the GGs, everyone. I know it was slightly rough. We did have a death in Corridor 7, but otherwise it was pretty good. One of my all-time favorite games. I highly recommend giving it a playthrough if you get a chance.